Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Grizzly Bear Sims YouTube channel, and welcome back to GreenRiver. This is episode number 4, and we are in a brand new game day. This is game day number 3 of early spring, so after we complete this game day, we'll be a third of the way through spring, and we're making pretty good progress. I just kind of wanted to bring you up to speed here on our plumbing project and basically show you how this works. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, this is absolutely fantastic. So here we go. We're going to walk up to our water valve here. We're going to hit the letter R to turn it on. And you can hear the animation pretty cool from that position. The animation isn't as loud over here on this one, but we'll go ahead and do that. And there we go. So filling that up. I guess I didn't get the speakers in the right direction there, or just didn't get it loud enough, but that's okay. We don't have to have it super loud. We kind of get the point there. So we need to do a couple of things this morning as it relates to our animals. I have off camera, I have fed our pig or our sheep and our cows here at the main farm. And we are going to head over in the Deutzfahr Warrior and the Penta DB50. We're going to head over to our pig yard, and we're going to feed the pigs and give them some water, and then swing back by the other farm facility and grab some total mix rations out of the mixing station, bring that over, and either dump that for the cows now, or maybe I'll just leave it in the tipper, and I'll do that at another point in time. But just wanted to bring your attention up to the upper right hand corner, $74,000. I did have to buy some more fertilizer, so that's about $8,000 at a time to fill up that fertilize spreader. So we will obviously be needing to sell some more compost, more than likely before we get ready to purchase our seeds and really get to planting. Our soil temperature has dropped 3 degrees. It was at 39 degrees if you remember yesterday, but it is a much cooler day and it's a brisk morning. It's 28 degrees this morning. Hopefully we're not going to have any problems with our pipes freezing. I don't think we will. They've insulated them quite well, so we're just going to basically park this right over here, park it out of the way, and we'll just jump out and go over here and get in our other little tractor here that's already connected to our tipper here. And go ahead and get this guy fired up, and we'll let him warm up just a little bit while we walk over here, I should say run over here and open our gate. And we'll get our gate opened up like that, and then we'll run back over, and our New Holland should be warmed up enough to go. Hope everyone is having a wonderful day. I certainly am. It was a wonderful Thursday for me today. It is the 12th of April, and still doing well on keeping things ahead of schedule. Let's see, I need to do this, and we need to go ahead and open the cover. Do we have anything in here? No, we don't. I was going to go in there for not a problem. We have the ability to fill this guy up. We've got lots of pig food in the pig food mixing station. Hope you guys are enjoying this map. I'm certainly enjoying playing it and bringing it to you. If there are any mods that you're interested in, don't forget, you'll find those on my mod spreadsheet. I keep those. I keep that mod spreadsheet updated. I would say it's probably. I would say my mod spreadsheet is probably 98% current. Let me just open this door here and see. Yeah, so they've got some straw. We'll probably need to bring some straw over here and store it. We can certainly do that with one of our trailers. We'll just bring a few bales over and store it at a time. That way we've always got some straw over here, because otherwise it's not really going to make sense to run it over in with the lift, or with the what am I looking for? With the front loader. That's what I'm looking for. So feels pretty slow. But anyway, back to the mods. The mod spreadsheet is probably 98%, 98.5% or so updated and current. I sort of made a promise to myself when we started Farm Sim 17 that I was going to do my best to essentially keep that updated, that essentially as I found mods that I wanted to use, I would add them to my spreadsheet. And if you look on my spreadsheet, I do have a section down at the bottom that sort of talks about testing and such. I've got a lot of mods there that just haven't really made it up to the main categories. In other words, I've downloaded those mods, I've put those mods into the game, but I have either I don't necessarily like them, or I'm not ready to use them for whatever reason, and so sort of as a result of that, they've not made it up to the categories. But for Farm Sim 19, I'm gonna even try to take it a step further and move out of the way, little piggies. Try to take it a step further and just really make sure that I always keep that spreadsheet current. And I've started something new with this map. If you look, you'll see numbers besides some of the mods, and some of those numbers start around 10, I think, 10, 11, 12. 10, I believe, relates to Midtown, USA. 11 relates to Tazewell County, and 12 obviously relates to GreenRiver. And what I'm going to do with that, and I'm even going to try to do a better job with this in Farm Sim 19, is just basically put that number to the side in each of those rows, so that as you're scanning through and looking for a mod, you'll easily be able to see. If you look at the top, you'll see what map it is. The maps will be numbered, and you can look at that, and you can basically then go down the list and see what mods are being played with what maps. And I think that will kind of help organize things. It will maybe keep things organized a little bit better for me. And I just need to go over here, and we need to give them some water. Now our hydrant is here, and our water facility is right over there. So it's possible that when we moved away from the no, it was filled 100%. All right, so that's good. That's good. We've shut our gate over there. Let's just take a look, and the pigs are pretty close. That's good enough for right now. So let's head on over, and before we get too long in the tooth here with this episode, let's go ahead and turn this guy around, and we need to head over to the main other farm. Not the main farm, I suppose. The main farm is kind of where we're living. That's kind of what I'm considering to be the main farm. We're going over to the secondary equipment storage area. Maybe that's what I'll call it. That's where our cattle mixing station is located, and you might have seen that in episode 1 or 2. I can't remember when I showed you all that. Might have done it in episode number 1. That was kind of the tour that I did. Anyway, I think you guys are going to see this episode on Saturday. Because I am so far ahead of the game plan, I think that you guys are going to see this episode on Saturday, the 5th of May. So I suppose that is Cinco de Mayo. If you celebrate that holiday, I will most likely, my wife and I will probably go and, let's see, let's go ahead and give this up to about 20,000 liters. My wife and I will most likely, 18.5 is good there. My wife and I will most likely go and have some Mexican food that day to celebrate Cinco de Mayo, and maybe even have an adult beverage that starts with the letter M and is usually frozen with a little salt around the rim. Those are really good. Margaritas, of course, is what I'm talking about. So we'll take this Total Mix rations over, and then we're going to do a little bit of farming. So, I've kind of been delegating a lot of the farming tasks to our hired workers, because I like to keep folks employed in the areas that I live and farm and everything. That's important to me. And of course, we're going to be making decent money as we progress through the coming days, weeks, and months of the next few seasons into winter. So we've got plenty of money-making opportunities and lots of opportunities to keep people employed, and that's certainly what we want to do. So certainly don't mind hiring the help when we can get it, and we certainly can get it. I've been getting some really good help I don't want to go in there. That's the driveway to my house. Duh, come on, Jerry. All right, let's get out. I haven't opened this gate up this morning. Gonna try to open and close gates. Maybe I realized I left the gate open over there on the pig yard, going into the pig yard, not going into where the pigs themselves are, but going into the yard itself. I realized I left that gate open. I believe it was open when we showed up over there. But I am going to try to get in the habit of opening and closing gates just a little bit more immersion, a little bit more realism, I suppose. I do try to do as much realism as possible, or as I like to often say, as realistic as the game will certainly allow us to play things. It's not always possible to be ultra realistic from the standpoint that let's see, that's pretty darn good right there, I would say. I think we're gonna call that good. Anyway, I often say I like to play the game as realistic as the game allows, and there's some limitations that we have. Like, for example, I would really rather not run over chickens if I could avoid it, but because these are free-range chickens and these chickens literally just kind of go everywhere they want to go, it's kind of hard to basically say, well, we're not gonna run over any chickens, because it just ends up working out that way. All right, so we're going to get in our big Kloss tractor, and we're going to head over to what is going to become, whenever our soil temperature comes up a little bit warmer. So I seem to zig and zag on the road here. I'll get this thing straightened out in just a moment. I was actually reaching over and grabbing my paper. We're going to go ahead and cut across this field here because, well, it's ours, and we don't have anything planted on it yet. But we're going to head over to the far western side of the map, which it doesn't take us long to get over there at all. Field number 14. Field number 14 is sort of the long, skinny field right over there. I'll leave that map up for you to take a look at that. That field is going to become, when it all is said and done, that field is basically going to become our sugar beet field. Sort of figured that would make for maybe a great sugar beet field because it's long, it's skinny. It will probably be perfect for, it should be perfect for the big Ropa sugar beet harvester that we're going to be using to harvest the sugar beets. And it should produce enough sugar beets for us that will be able to sustain our pigs, because we need sugar beets and we need wheat for our pig food mixing station. So most likely we're going to have more than enough sugar beets to sustain us. But I'd like to be able to use that Ropa equipment because hey, I bought the DLC, so might as well take advantage of it. So we're going to just come over here and we're going to go this way and give ourselves a headland across this end of the field, and then we'll start our up and downs, and I'll put a headland across the other side as well. I suppose I could have done a little bit better job getting lined up here, but no, we'll do a mixture of farming and other things, other tasks. I did, just for sort of the sake of full disclosure and everything, I did chop some more trees down, cut some more trees down, and managed to get another 50,000 liters of wood chips over in the compost facility. So I think we've got about 60,000 liters of material on the ground, plus another 50,000 liters that is currently in the process of being processed into sugar beets. So that will all be ready for us once we. Tell you what, let's go ahead and put another headland in right down here. But that way we'll have that ready for us, and because that's worth about what did I say last time? About $60,000. Now, I did go back and look at the film from the Midtown USA episode, which as I'm recording this episode, I don't believe you've seen that yet, or maybe you have. But anyway, I did go back and look, and so we got about $60,000 for the sale of the compost here on GreenRiver in that mod sell point that I placed on the map over there by the garden center. And so I kind of thought that was a little bit high, and I guess I really wasn't paying attention that much during the Midtown USA episode whenever we sold the compost, because we had the same tipper, we had the same Penta DB50, we had roughly 50,000 liters of compost that we sold. And hang on just one second here as I get this lined up. We don't need an offset. We'll slide this guy over like that, and then we'll lock in, and we're gonna drop and go. So again, I guess I wasn't paying attention when we sold the compost over there, because I got $117,000 from the load of compost that we sold. $117,000, so almost double on Midtown USA from what we received here on GreenRiver. And again, I was a little concerned because the placeable sell point mod that I placed over there by the garden center, and I showed you that in the previous episode, it had something like 150%. It had like 150% stamped over the picture of the mod. And so when I really didn't know what that meant, and then when we sold our first batch of compost, I was thinking, okay, well, I wonder if that's a little unrealistic. And not that we have to play, we're not playing career mode or anything like that, but I am somewhat, gonna try to play this close to the, accurate as far as the money and everything. I'm either going to take a bank loan if we need to, or we'll sell some compost or sell some silage or cut some trees down or whatever to make that money. I'm not gonna go in and cheat money in for this particular series. Of course, we already own our fields we're going to use. We already own our equipment that we're going to play with and everything. But still, I'm kind of wanting to do the financial side and just see how this goes. And so when I planted that mod here on this map on GreenRiver, and we sold that first batch of compost, I'm thinking, well, I wonder if that's too much, if we actually just made way too much money for that load of compost. And I was even thinking, well, if I only got, say, half of that much on Midtown USA, then essentially what I would do is every time we sold a load of compost here on GreenRiver, I would essentially take out $30,000 or whatever, just to kind of balance it and make it a little bit more realistic. But since we made $117,000 from the compost on Midtown USA, and of course we possibly caught it at a high demand, so that I don't think we'll see high demand for our compost here on this map. I'm just going to leave it as is. So it's going to roughly be worth whatever they pay us over at the garden center. It will be worth that much. That's how much we'll obviously put in our bank account, and we'll be happy. We'll be happy to have that, and certainly not gonna complain. So if that sounds fair to all of you, then it certainly sounds fair to me, and we'll just live with that way. What else? What else is going on? Well, what else is going on in your world? Are you guys, or is anyone playing GreenRiver? Is anyone playing this map on your virtual farm in your Farm Sim 17? Or do any of you remember playing this map for Farm Sim 15? Let me know. Let me know what you think. If you played it on Farm Sim 15, I'd be curious to hear what you think about the version for Farm Sim 17. Do you like it? And if not, then why? You know, what are the reasons? As I said before, I don't have experience with this map on Farm Sim 15. And to be quite honest, I never even knew it existed for Farm Sim 15. Keeping in mind that I did not start my agricultural simulation addiction. I'll call it an addiction because I think we can all agree that if we truly enjoy playing this game, we're often truly addicted to it. I didn't start my addiction until 3 or 4 months after Farm Sim 15 came out. So it was like in the February time frame of 2000. Let's see, what would that have been? 2014? Yeah. No, 2015 would have been when I experienced that, February of 2015. And then I spent probably 6 months playing, well, maybe not 6 months, maybe about 4 months, playing on default Westbridge Hills. And then I started getting into mods, and I started getting into modded maps. And of course, the very first modded map that I was introduced to was Stevie's version of Westbridge Hills, and then that led to like Black Rock Valley, and then that led to Paradise Hills, and pretty much Paradise Hills was what and then I also played Coldborough Park Farm for 15. I played there were several others that I played for Farm Sim 15, but I finished Farm Sim 15 and everything up with Paradise Hills. If you have been with me for that period of time, you remember that we packed up the family and moved them from Paradise Hills to Goldcrest Valley, and finished the episode off shortly, I think the day before 17 came out, and then immediately started playing 17 and never looked back. So there was a lot of maps, and even including Thornton Farm, that I do not have any memory of even knowing about those maps for Farm Sim 15 when Farm Sim 15 was the current Giants version. It was sort of after the fact that I have learned about Thornton Farm, and I played Thornton Farm, that I learned about GreenRiver, etc. So I've enjoyed playing these maps, and of course not really having any experience with how they may have played, what they maybe what they looked like, or the features and the functionality of these maps for Farm Sim 15, not having any of that information or knowledge. Certainly, I guess I have no input. It's like as if this map was created brand new for Farm Sim 17. The only map that I have played that I did play for Farm Sim 15 was Coldborough Park Farm. That's the only map that I have played that I can say, okay, I spent a fairly large number of hours playing this map in Farm Sim 15, and I also spent a fair amount of time playing it on Farm Sim 17 as well, until we had some problems, because that, if you remember, if you were kind of around for that, this was in the early stages of Farm Sim 17 being available, and there were some updates that were made to Farm Sim 17, and it essentially caused pretty lousy performance issues on Coldborough Park Farm. And I don't think it was the map, so it's not Bullet Bill's fault. I think it was just something with my game save and everything. And there was so many other maps that was starting to come out. Stevie had released Pine Cove Farm, and then Stevie was releasing something else, because that's just kind of how he works. He just works mods like crazy and produces all these wonderful things. And then I was playing law folds, and then I wanted to play this and wanted to play that, and I still have a list of maps that I would love to play, and I almost have to use discretion when I'm viewing YouTubers on YouTube and watching them play maps, because I can almost just get so excited about seeing a map that, you know, I haven't yet experienced. I'll see somebody else playing it. I'll see the beauty of the map and the functionality and the way things are laid out, and whether it's big equipment, small equipment, medium-sized equipment, or whatever, and I'll get so excited about it. It's like, okay, I want to play that map. And what I'm really going to try to do, you know, and by the time that you're watching this episode, and again, you're seeing this on the 5th of May, Cinco de Mayo, Tazewell County is going to be wrapping up. If not this next week ahead, certainly early the week after, we're going to be done with that map. And I'm really going to try to do my best to essentially not bring in another map project immediately. I want to try to focus on enjoying this map, being able to put out as many videos as, you know, as I feel like needs to be put out to tell the story, to showcase some of the things on the map. And sure, some things we'll do, you know, more than once, and you know, some things some things we'll do a little bit more logging, and then that's probably going to be the extent of that I'll do as far as on camera is concerned. Obviously, we'll take care of the animals as and when they need it, and I may do some more farm work like this, field work. Obviously, probably do some planting on camera, and obviously harvesting and stuff like that. But really want to try to stay focused and just put this series out. There is another map that is not yet been made available that I am kind of looking forward to, and there's a lot of different reasons why I'm excited about having the opportunity to play that. And I really don't know what the timing of all this is going to be. I mean, as I'm recording this episode, this is the 12th of April. This episode that you're watching here is going to be seen on the 5th of May. It's not going to be long before I'm going to be recording episodes probably still in April that will be available in the middle of May, and then we're going to be knocking on Memorial Day and June 1st, and then, you know, before I know it, it's going to be late August, and it's going to be time for my wife and I to go on vacation and everything. And so this other map, I'm pretty excited about getting the opportunity to play it. But again, I don't know what the timing and everything of all that is going to be, and when it's going to get released. And it may be something that, you know, I may not have the opportunity to play it, or at least I may not have the opportunity to play it initially when it first comes out. But I do plan to play it, and I will certainly explain or try to remember to explain why I'm excited about it and everything once we basically reach that point in time. Right now, I'm not gonna go into that. All right, so we are at about 28 and a half minutes on the timer, and well, there's no way that we're going to get the rest of this field plowed in, you know, a minute and a half or so. Most likely it will take me another 10 or 15 minutes to plow this, you know, using smaller equipment and everything. And this is certainly not a tiny plow by any stretch of the imagination, but you know me, usually I'm using that John Deere 2623, I think it is, big guy, but you know, I'm gonna leave that for another map for another time to do something that will better appreciate the larger, bigger equipment. But it'll take me a little bit longer to get this done. So I'll get this done off camera. I'm thinking that, you know, I'm going to try to have 2 to 3 episodes per game day. So obviously playing at 5x speed. I could crank that up to 15x speed, but the problem is, and I don't even know if I will commit to always playing at 5x speed, is the issue with the rain. The rain just kind of in the real world, and I'll take just a minute to explain this. So we see a little clouds over there, some overcast over there. Well, in the real world, even if the weather forecasters are predicting rain, then you essentially, it's sunshine outside or whatever, and then when the rain starts coming in, you'll see the clouds coming in, and then obviously it will start raining at some point in time. Within the game and with the way that seasons and everything works with the weather, even though we're forecasting rain today, if I'm running around at like 15x speed, the rain literally can just catch you off guard, and that in my mind is a little bit unrealistic with how things really work in the real world, because playing at 15x speed, the time goes by so quickly that really it's a blink of an eye, and you go from weather like this to a torrential downpour. And so I'm going to kind of be cautious about that, and probably once we get into the harvest time, if there's any rain that's predicted, or even say for example mowing, tedding, raking, if there's any rain predicted at all, we'll probably run at a slower speed, just because I don't want to get caught out. I don't want to necessarily be penalized for basically having grass out on the field that hasn't been belled and put in the barn and everything. Run the risk of losing that. So anyway, that's just kind of how we're going to do things, and I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun for me, and I hope it's just going to be fun for you as well to watch. So speaking of fun, my commitment to you is to keep these episodes as short as possible, and we're knocking on 32 minutes door here. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching this episode as well as all of my episodes. I appreciate that. We will return for another episode here on GreenRiver, or a few more episodes of Tazewell County, and we'll probably still do some trucking and some other things here and there. I have slowed down on the trucking videos just a little bit, because I've been quite excited to getting a few of these videos out for you all to enjoy. Plus, quite honestly, I'm having such a good time playing this map that I've kind of left the keys to the truck and everything parked. Left the keys hanging on the keyboard. So anyway, thank you again for watching. Please take good care of yourself and also of each other. God bless you all. Have a wonderful month of May, and have a safe Cinco de Mayo, and I will speak to you all very, very soon. Take care now. Bye-bye.